Hello Becky, thanks for coming to Cranfield today. Really enjoyed your presentation earlier today, and I just wanted to ask you to tell us a little bit about how you define an engaged customer, because that's something new that your research has given us.
In terms of engagement, it actually all came from Hugh and Anne's original paper in terms of the definition of an engaged consumer online, and we worked with Anne, who did a lot of the academic reading, which of course in our daily work we don't have time to do.
And of course Anne's doing it with her PhD here, isn't she?
Absolutely, yeah. She's undertaking her PhD in investigating online engagement as an index and development of a scale, which caught her eye, and obviously I think we were particularly attractive to Anne as well because we can help commercialise it, and I suppose make it relevant in the context of advertising in particular. We started off with Anne, I believe, around 150 odd statements, and we had a huge amount of rigorous debate, academic and commercial, on what statements should actually go into the final questionnaire, and we ended up with around 60 across the four factors that Anne spoke about today. And we pilot tested on Sky's websites, which is where Sky came in. We provided the mechanism to allow Anne to test her scale and theory and see if engagement could be something that could be operationalised into a small index, which we ended up with a 12-point scale as a predictor of an engagement score. And the importance of it being short was commercially because of the amount of time that you have with the consumer in a questionnaire. So in terms of engagement, that's how we got to the measures, and then the next thing was actually correlating that to advertising outcomes, because we know, well, firstly from Anne's pilot test, we knew what engagement wasn't, which is the behavioural proxies that we spoke about, and we knew what it was, which is the four constructs that we came up with around cognitive and utilitarian value.
You're able to define which customers are engaged according to these values, and they are personal values rather than behavioural proxies. And when you've actually identified and you can differentiate between engaged and less engaged customers, how do you actually see what they do and how they respond to your advertising differ?
In terms of that, we did that correlation through two particular ad tests on our site. One was on our entertainment range of sites, and the other was on our NetMum site, which was a partner site of Sky at the time. And what we did was we bolted that 12-point scale onto the end of our ad effectiveness study to correlate the engagement score with commercial outcomes, or well, to test for correlation and significance and correlation. And in terms of that, for advertising recall, we found that there was significant positive correlation, and also for brand characteristics, brand favourability, and to some degree purchase intent. And what's really interesting about then this 12-point scale is that advertisers can then start to commercialise it and profile the landscape in online, rather than just using dwell time and frequency to plan and target sites slightly differently.